Hey boys and girls, this is Wild Man Willis here. I'm doing my top 10 matches of 2021. This has been a year where we have seen some of the best wrestling in a while, especially post first pandemic outbreak when the fans actually came back to the shows on both sides and in the indies and everything else. But I'm just going by the matches I saw this year. So I'm going to start from bottom, from 10 all the way up to 1. And my number 10 is Roman Reigns versus John Cena at this year's SummerSlam. You know I do not like Roman Reigns whatsoever. But John Cena made that man look like a badass. And they actually put on a good match. And Roman actually could keep up with Cena, and that was great to see. We knew that Cena was not going to win this match because he ain't going to be there really no more, so it was no sense for him to be the champion, even though it would have been cool to see him break Ric Flair's WWE record. But yeah, that was a good match. All in all, both guys did pretty good. So that's my number 10. My next match is Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 37. This was the main event of night one. Actually, for real, they should have made this the main event of the whole show. The crown Bianca Belair as the women's champion at that time. But of course, they gotta do everything for Roman. But it would have been cool if Roman and them would have been night one and Banks and them would have been night two. That would have been cool to see another women's main event in WrestleMania, especially two black women. That would have been pretty cool too, as well. So they both put on a good competitive match. Too bad what they did later on with Belair with Becky Lynch kind of took away all of that, but all in all, those women still had a great match. My number 8 is CM Punk versus Darby Allin at All Out. This was the return of CM Punk to wrestling in about 7 years, and he kept up with Darby Allin during this match. You can see he had a little bit of ring rust in him, but that's basically what the story they was telling, that can CM Punk, after being away from this long, can actually hang in the ring with somebody younger than him and somebody quicker than him, which Darby Allin is both. They all put it on the line, and it didn't overstay its welcome. I know some people thought that Punk might have looked kind of slow in that match, but I don't think he did. It's just the fact that he ain't been in the ring for a while, and they expressed that in his promos and on the commentary as well. So yeah, go back if you get a chance. If you missed this match, go back and see it. It was a pretty good match. My number 7 goes to Walter versus Dragunov at Takeover 36. The last few of the original takeovers from the original NXT that everybody likes. Not that crap that they doing now, NXT 2.0. It don't even feel like the same show no more. But if they wanted to go out with one of the best matches in NXT TakeOver, that was one of the best matches I've seen in a while. Hard hitting. You could see how bad off they was, because both men had bloody red chests at the end of that match, slapping against each other in chops. It was just very hard hitting. That UK style is no joke. It's that hard style that's like in New Japan, and they gave it their all, and this was a swan song to the NXT that everybody really loved. And wow, that match, if you ain't seen this match, if you missed it, please go back and watch this match. You will be thoroughly enjoyed by this match. This is my number 7. To me, one of the best women's matches of the whole year was Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, and both of those women laid it on the line. It's something you wouldn't see on regular television that much, or on WWE programming, where it was a lights out match, no holds barred, and these women bled and did everything the men could do even better. This match made up for that exploding death match that Omega and Moxley did at the pay-per-view. This one, they put it all on the line, thumbtacks and everything. If you didn't get a chance to see this match, that you missed out on a lot, because both these women just killed it and left everything in the ring. They even went harder than some of the men this year with that match, as a bloody contest between two wrestlers. So if you missed it, go back to that March 17th show of AEW Dynamite. You will not be disappointed. On October the 15th, this was an interesting Friday night, because SmackDown had to go to FX1. So what they decided to do, since they knew they wasn't going to get as many viewers as they would if they was on regular Fox, what they decided to add on another 30 minutes to the show to take away Rampage's viewers. So Tony Khan decided, well, since y'all gonna play dirty, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a buy-in before Rampage. And the main match on that show was Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. And it was everything that it could live up to be. And guess what? You didn't need cable to watch it. You could watch it on YouTube for free. And it's still on YouTube. If you want to see this match and that whole buy-in, you could just pull it up. It's still on there. They never took it off of there. And that was a big flex by AEW, only because WWE did the 30 move. They didn't have to add 30 minutes onto the show to try to take away Rampage's ratings for no reason. That was just petty on their end. But forget that. Just go and pull this match up on YouTube. You will not be disappointed at all. My only tag match on the list is the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks at All Out in a steel cage match. And both teams left everything in the ring. The Bucks were dastardly and cheating as usual, but the Lucha Bros was just too fast, too quick, and had enough get-go to handle the Bucks at their own game. It was bloody. They were doing acrobatic moves off the cage. They actually used the cage as the weapon, and people actually bleeded because they hit their head against the cage, which I was glad to see, because you don't really see any blood on mainstream wrestling when it comes to using the steel cage. So they put on a barn burner. You was on the edge of your seat throughout that whole match. Just another great thing that happened on that All Out pay-per-view this year. My number 3 match of the year is Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega at AEW Grand Slam at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, which I had the privilege to have a floor seat for that show, up close and personal in the action. And those men put on a 30-minute clinic that I don't think you will see anytime soon again. But between these two, because Omega right now is hurt, so we'll have to see if they have a match later on down the line once he come back, whenever he comes back. But yeah, anybody doubting Omega's skill and keeping up with people, this match proved that at the time why he was one of the best champions in wrestling at the time, going against one of the best wrestlers of all time in Bryan Danielson. You got the American Dragon back, and they went 30 minutes straight, and it was just excellent match. If you missed it, go back and see it. And my number 2 is Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega at Full Gear on November the 13th. And this was the crowning of Hangman Adam Page as your new AEW champion. It was almost a 2-year storyline in the making. You don't see long-term booking and long-term storytelling and wrestling like that anymore, like you used to back in the day. I know some fans ain't used to that anymore because they used to watching WWE and they never know how to close out storylines or give the hero the win that he needs at the end and triumphs. So that was refreshing to see, and it was refreshing to see a babyface champion that ain't looking dumb like they do with other babyface wrestlers they've done in the past few years on WWE. So excellent match. If you missed it, find some way to see that match because you will not be disappointed. And I think Hangman Page down the line will be a great champion once he has more wins under his belt. I don't think they're going to take it off of him that quickly, but if they put it on Bryan Danielson, it makes sense because Daniel Bryan is one of the hottest things in wrestling right now. Bryan Danielson, that is. So, and my number 1 match for the year is Bryan Danielson and Hangman Adam Page at Winter is Coming. They let them go 60 minutes straight, not fake 60 minutes, actual 60-minute match on regular television to a draw. Both men laid it on the line. Page basically had the match won, but time was not on his side at the ending of that match, and Bryan just made Page look great. Page was also good in the match. Both men just laid it on the line, and they made Page really into a star that night. Maybe, just maybe, with the rematch that they setting up, maybe Bryan might win. I don't know, but it's kind of too soon to take the title off of Page, because I think some people would be mad about that, especially the AEW loyalist fans that might get mad because a WWE guy and came in and took the title from a homegrown talent. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, nothing takes away from this 60-minute bomb burner. A lot of fans ain't used to seeing 60-minute draws in a title match, but they used to have them all the time back in the day. But some fans just don't realize that, and it basically did not make either man look weak. Didn't make the champion look weak because he had the match won. It wasn't like that Bryan had him in the label lock at the end and he was about to tap out before the time ran out. It's just that he couldn't get over to cover Bryan at before the time ran out. That's all it was. So, this match just ended the year greatly, and hopefully next year we'll have a lot of great matches too. This is Wild Man Will signing off. See you next time.